Okay, in today's video, we'll be setting up Synology High Availability. So what we will need is two identical Synology NAS. So here we see that the hard disks are all the same. So we have inserted the 5 hard disks in the same slots, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So we have the same capacity as well. So 5 and 7 are 3 terabytes and 1, 3, 4 are 4 terabytes. Version, so when we look into the memory, you also need the same memory size, so that's something to watch out for. So here we have 4 gigs of RAM on both systems. Then the DSM version also the same. So when we look at the update restore section, both are having the same DSM version. So everything needs to be identical so that it can be set up properly. Okay, next we will download the package. So we'll be needing the Synology High Availability package. You see that the download count is only in the 100K, so I think this is a undervalued app to use. Not many people are using it yet, so I think it's a good option to use in addition to the backup strategy. Okay, when it's installed, you would open the Synology High Availability app on the master. Okay, next we have to set up the network interfaces. We have the same configuration on both systems. I'll be setting a bond for LAN 1 and 2 and another bond for 3 and 4. So one set will be going to connect to each other, the two NAS, and the other set would be connecting to the switch of the network. So create a bond. So for the first bond, I'll be using the second option. This will be the heartbeat connection between the two NAS. So I'll be using 1 and 2. And the network configuration, we can keep it as default because the Synology High Availability would be setting it up. So I'll do the same on the other NAS. Second option, LAN 1 and 2. So you have to set this network configuration before you set up the Synology High Availability. Okay, it will take a while to apply. Okay, we'll do the same for the other bond. So now we see that the bond 1 is created. Okay, we'll do the same for LAN 3 and 4. We'll be creating another bond. In this case, I'll be using the first one because I do not have the managed switch. LAN 3 and 4. And this will be the one connecting to the local network. So I'll be doing a hard static IP. So I'll be using 16 for one of them and 17 for the other. So remember the number because you'll be using that to connect to the NAS after they apply the network settings. So at this point you can prepare another tab to connect to the new IP, the static IP that you set. Okay, once the page has loaded, we now see that the network interfaces, there's 2 bonds created. First one will be for heartbeat connection between the 2 NAS, and the second one will be to connect to the network. So these are static IPs for the network. The other thing to do is to disable the IPv6. We do not need that for our setup. Okay, so we are ready to create the high availability cluster. So you can open the package and go through the wizard. So these are some details. So we'll be having a heartbeat connection that connects directly between the 2 NAS, and then a cluster connection connecting to the switch of your network. So there's some things to take note. So storage needs to be the same, the number of hard disks, capacity, and the slots they are being inserted in. Then the network needs to be the same as well. So we created 2 bonds, and each having 2 network interfaces. Okay, so we're using one pair for the cluster and 1 pair for the heartbeat. So you'll be selecting, so based on what the physical connections you are using. So in this case, I'll be using bond 1 for heartbeat and bond 2 for the cluster. Okay, so once you logged into the passive server, then it will start the configuration. Okay, so we'll be setting up the host name and IP for the high availability cluster. So I'll be doing a host name, then the IP, I'll be setting a static IP. I'll just do a consecutive numbers, so this will be 18. Okay, let it verify that everything is okay. So the back end, I think it's doing some configuration. So it's like disconnecting and connecting again. Okay, we're all good. So we can proceed. So just confirming the settings. Bond 1 for the heartbeat, bond 2 for the cluster. Okay, just to confirm, everything will be deleted on the passive server. Okay, so it's doing a configuration of the heartbeat connection. Okay, at this point, everything will be done on the active server. So that's why the passive server locked out. Okay, so it's redirecting to the high availability IP. Okay, so the syncing has started. So it's syncing stuff from the active to the passive server. Okay, currently the system already has data in the hard drives. So this syncing process will also sync all the existing data over to the passive server. Okay, you see that the transfer speeds are in the high hundreds, which probably means that it's utilizing more than one LAN port. Okay, I guess we're done with the setup. So we'll just wait for the syncing process to complete and we are done. Okay, at this point, I think that's all for the configuration. So I'll stop the video here. So just wait for the syncing to finish. And that's all. So that's the high availability setup. So whenever anything happens to the active server, it will do a switch over to the passive server.